Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble news channel. I think the whole point of digital ID marketing is that everyone needs a legal ID so they can get to services they need, right? People believe that everyone should be able to use the system, and they connect this to the idea of financial equality. Because of how they're set up, they've pretty much said that this is the only way to show your legal identity. So if you don't take part in that system, you don't exist in the eyes of the government or most businesses. They have already made the answer, or what they want the new system of financial control to be after this new Bretton Woods moment to be. They only need a big event like World War II or another big event that causes a lot of trouble to decide that it's time for a new system of financial control, just like they did after World War II. As far as I can tell, the digital ID, the CBDC, and its private sector parity project have always been meant to work together. Whitney Webb works at Unlimited Hangout as a writer, podcaster, and researcher. She mainly writes about privacy, technology, spying, and intelligence. She also wrote the brand new book One Nation Under Blackmail. In this talk with Mark Goodwin, Whitney reveals the plot involving the federal government in the use of CBDCs. Whitney thinks that the possibility of more government monitoring is one of the most scary things about CBDC. Everything could be tracked and watched because CBDC would be issued and controlled by the Federal Reserve. This could make financial privacy less safe and give the government a whole new way to look at people's spending and money habits. The feds also think it can be used as a legal ID to get access to banking services. Additionally, she says that CBDC might allow central banks to have a stronger grip on the money supply. In this way, monetary policies might be more precisely put into place. For example, stocks of digital currency could be given negative interest rates directly. This might be good for running the economy, but it also means the government might have more power over people's money. Whitney also thinks that the arrival of CBDCs could make the current banking system less stable. If people move their money from commercial banks to digital wallets provided by the central bank, banks might not have as many deposits to lend money against. The federal government thinks that CBDC will make it easier for everyone to get money, but in reality, it will make it harder for some people to get money. As we show you parts of the chat, please like the video and subscribe to the channel Bitcoin Bubble video like this. You can join the conversation by leaving your comments, thoughts, or notes below. In the space below for comments. Everything you do is good for the YouTube system and helps the channel grow a lot. Thanks, and have fun with the movie. So there are papers from the UN, the BIs, and other groups that have been working on this for years that mostly say that one is necessary for the other, using words like inclusionary. Kind of the whole selling thing, I guess. Digital idea is that everyone needs a legal ID because without it, they can't get to services they need. Okay, so the idea is that everyone should be able to use the system. They connected this directly to the idea of financial inclusion and banking the unbanked, which he brought up earlier. However, the way these systems are set up makes them inherently exclusive. It's pretty much what they said, this is the only way to show you are who you say you are legally. So from the point of view of the government or the business sector, you don't exist if you don't take part in that system. So if you don't use that system, you're automatically shut out of the economy and pretty much everything else as well. You either have to join the monitoring state or you won't be able to do anything. It is being sold as a way to include everyone, but it actually leaves some people out. Where do we end up? Where they want us to go. I believe they give it away when they say this is the new Bretton Woods movement that needs to be taken. In a sense, Bretton Woods was the result of World War II. It was a new way of managing money that was set up after the war. After World War II, the world economy was in pretty bad shape. Countries really wanted to keep the economy from getting out of hand again, like it did during the Great Depression, so that there wouldn't be another war. This is where the story of Bretton Woods starts. In July 1944, while the war was still going on, representatives from 44 friendly countries met in New Hampshire, USA, for the Bretton Woods Conference. Their goal was to create a new international financial system that would help the world heal and stop future economic crises. The people who came wanted to make an exchange rate system that was stable and easy to understand. Imagine that money is like pieces of a puzzle. For foreign trade to work, they had to work well together. It seemed like World War II to Whitney. To help with execution and get people on board, a big event is needed. And this is basically an effort to make a new system for financial control. It was announced a long time before that kind of crisis, but it's likely going to need one to be put into place and get a lot of people on board. There is also a lot of evidence to back the idea that all wars are between bankers, if that's what you believe. That makes it sound like they've already made the solution and are working on the new financial governance system they want for after this new Bretton Woods moment. All they need now is a big event like World War II. It would be just as upsetting to say, okay, now it's time for a new financial governance system after this big event as they did after World War II. Debt bubble popping. If you know the debt bubble is going to pop and want it to do so in a way that leads to a new system, you should take on as much debt as possible. This is because you want the majority of people to endorse your system. On the record, just like on the board, so they'll all pop when the system does. All of the debt bubbles will pop at the same time. It's going to be everything at once. It won't be like, oh, Japan is fine, the US is fucked, that won't work. It will all pop at once. In a strange way, you want to take on as much debt as you can right before the pin pops the bubble. Then you can say, hey, we'll pay off your debt one by one, just sign up here, take a selfie of your face, and give us your biometrics. Then you'll be able to use this new global ledger. Do you see that? Do you think that the COVID stimulus and monetary growth were mainly a way to say, hey, this is the US dollar system with the world's debt in mind? You know, this system that was set up after Bretton Woods is about to blow up. Let's make as much debt as possible so that everyone can switch to the new scheme. I do think there is a link between those two things. Indeed, many of the people who are building the system are, in a sense, loan barons. I mean, Blackrock in particular played a very important part in the whole COVID money problem. Critics pointed out possible conflicts of interest during COVID. Concerns were raised that Blackrock could gain from the asset purchases it was overseeing for the Federal Reserve, since it also managed funds that might have held similar assets. This was because BlackRock was both an asset manager and an advisor to the Federal Reserve. Some people thought that BlackRock's role in the bond buying plans gave it too much power over the financial markets. Some people thought that BlackRock's role in the Fed's programs would make it even stronger, since it was already a big player in the asset management business. People wanted BlackRock's business and its deals with the Federal Reserve to be more open and clear. Some people said that the public wasn't given enough information about how BlackRock was chosen and how it ran these projects. The pandemic brought to light how much financial power is held by just a few big companies. BlackRock was often at the center of these talks. There were rumors that BlackRock was taking advantage of the financial crisis to get even stronger in the financial sector. In 2019, Mark Carney talked about the new financial system that was coming. At the same meeting, BlackRock presented their going direct paper, which was basically the strategy that was used, as soon as COVID came out a few months later. And BlackRock uses debt to, make more money, gain more power, and own more things around the world. Of course, since debt has been a big part of power for a long time, the people who can handle the most debt on Wall Street and other places are usually the most successful and powerful, right? In the case of Larry Fink, it looks like they have a big plan to create new types of assets that will help their current business model keep going for, thousands of years. The idea of natural assets or nature's economy is one of these that I've been writing about for a few years. Nature economy is a project that aims to include natural capital and environmental sustainability in the financial and economic processes. The nature economy aims to understand and value the important roles that natural ecosystems play in the economy and society, as well as to encourage people to put